For over a decade, Craig Melvin and Lindsay Charniak existed in a unique orbit. They were the power couple next door, a blend of NBC's morning warmth and the high-octane energy of the sports world. Viewers didn't just watch them, they used them as a metronome for their own lives. Craig was the steady cup of coffee at 7 a.m. Lindsay was the adrenaline of a Sunday afternoon kickoff. They were fixed points in a spinning world. But as any navigator knows, even fixed points can shift if the earth beneath them moves. The subtle recalibration. The change didn't arrive with a headline or a dramatic social media blackout. It arrived in the receding shoreline of their shared public presence. For years, their lives were a masterclass in the middle ground, that thin, vibrating wire where his need for routine met her love for the road. They were a bridge between the stillness of a New York studio and the motion of 1,000 different stadiums. However, time has a way of altering the weight of things. What once felt like a thrilling balance began to feel like an emotional reallocation. The kinetic energy that Lindsay brought to her reporting started to turn inward, focused on the legacy she wanted to leave for her children. Meanwhile, Craig, always the reflective anchor, began to carry a different kind of gravity. It wasn't the heaviness of sadness, but the weight of reassessment. The loneliness of the pedestal. There is a specific quiet pressure that comes with being a model couple. When millions of people project their own hopes for stability onto you, the image becomes a cage. You keep showing up, you keep the mask polished, not out of vanity, but out of a sense of duty to the narrative. Behind the scenes, the conversations that used to happen in the gaps between broadcasts over lukewarm coffee or in the back of Ubers began to carry more silence. It wasn't the silence of anger, it was the silence of two people standing at adjacent crossroads. They were realizing that the version of them the world knew was a snapshot from a decade ago, and the people in the frame had evolved into something entirely new. The quiet exhale. In the entertainment industry, we are conditioned to expect endings that explode, scandals, statements, and spectacles. But the story of Craig and Lindsay, as it entered this new, ambiguous chapter, felt more like an exhale. It was the sound of two people letting go of the pressure to be perfect. Fans noticed the distance not in what was said, but in what was absent. The shared jokes grew a little more professional. The social media windows into their home life grew a little more guarded. It was a gradual redrawing of boundaries, a recognition that perhaps love isn't a fixed monument, but a living, breathing thing that sometimes needs to change shape to survive. Beyond certainty. This shift forces a mirror back onto the audience. Why does it unsettle us when a steady couple recalibrates? Perhaps because it reminds us that our own certainties are just as fragile. We want their love to stay fixed so we can believe ours will too. But as Craig continues to anchor the morning news with his signature calm, and Lindsay pursues her passion for storytelling in the sports arena, the quiet truth remains. Not everything that changes is broken. Some things simply become something else. They are navigating the space where the cameras keep rolling, but the answers aren't written on a teleprompter. They're proving that the most honest thing a couple can do is admit when the old story no longer fits and have the courage to start writing the next one, even if they have to pick up separate pens to do it.